welcome to Old English Outfitters. I'm Alan. You know, trends in the firearms industry, like trends in any other industry, are very important. Manufacturers pursue those trends. They pursue them in the interest of selling products and making money, and they pursue them in the interest of better performing products, right? And two trends that we have seen in the last year or so have been the small red dot sights that go on pistols and the trend of taking pistols, small defensive handguns, and increasing their magazine capacity. There was a time when 6 or 7 rounds in a small handgun were considered pretty good. It's more than 5 out of a small revolver, right? Now we have all kinds of capacity in these things. We have 10, 12, 13 rounds, things like that, right? And we have manufacturers like SIG and Springfield Armory and Smith & Wesson and others pursuing those two trends. Well, not to be left behind, we now have Ruger pursuing those two trends. And Ruger is doing it with this. This is the Max-9, brand new pistol from Ruger. It is about the same length and height as the LC9 series pistols, but it is very different in a couple of respects. If you look at it, you see elements of the LC9 series, or the EC9 series. You see elements of the LCP2 series, or the Security 9 series. You see things like that. But there's also some new stuff on this little gun. Not a very large pistol, not very heavy. Ships with a flush-fitting 10-round magazine. If you look at the profile, like other magazines out there by other manufacturers, we start out at the bottom double stacked and we taper down to a single stack feed. Flush-fitting 10-rounder. Slightly extended, I'm going to put it in the gun so you can see it, slightly extended, not very much, 12-round magazine. Now, these are a little tough to load first time or two, not unusual for magazines of this type, but also not a deal breaker and not horrible either. You can get them once you've got them going, and of course magazine loaders will help. So, we've got that capacity that is the trend. 10 and 12 here, okay? Other features that it has that are similar to other Ruger guns. We talked about the size of the LC9, EC9 series. If you look at the trigger has the safety piece, looks like the Security 9 series. Looks like the LCP2 series. Except, the LCP2s, remember, are hammer fired. This is striker fired. So, they've blended some of their design features into this pistol. It has a rear sight that's steel and has a nice square profile, so you could use it for a piece to emergency rack slide if you needed to. Stands up, gives you a nice good sight picture. The front sight is fiber optic, but it's also tritium, so we have a front night sight here. So in low light or no light, when you present the pistol, you'll find that front sight glowing, not the back one, just the front one. And that's a pretty good way to do this. If you're used to night sights that have full features, so you got 2 in the back and 1 in the front, this might look a little strange at first, but when you pick up the front one, typically you've got a good sight picture. You're finding the most important thing, the front sight, right? This front sight focus and trigger squeeze are the two things that make these things shoot straight. If we turn it around and we look at the other side of it, we start up here and mention we do have front cocking serrations like some of the others do in Ruger's line. Rear cocking serrations, of course. We have a manual safety right here that rotates up, so it's very easy. It's set up for right-hander. So for a right-handed person, it's very, very easy to sweep off, not unlike a 1911 safety and where it's placed. Very easy to sweep off. Slide release is right there. Here we have the exact same takedown setup that they have in the LC9 and the EC series. You've got a small horizontal lever that you push straight down, and then from the other side, there's a small little witness hole right there. From the other side, you can push the pin out. So you end up with a small pin that comes out. That pin is the locking piece that holds the slide and the barrel assembly on the frame. Once that pin's out, don't have to pull the trigger or do anything else. The slide, barrel, and recoil spring assembly slide right off the front. So very similar to the other series' pistols that they have produced. So once again, you see that blended features there, right? We've got a small little witness hole on top of the barrel hood here to give you a chamber indicator. It's pretty small, but with the right lights you might be able to see it. You could back slide up slightly and that would help. But then we have a couple other things here. A departure from the LC9 and EC series is there is no magazine disconnect or no magazine safety on this pistol. So if the magazine is not in it, it will still fire. They are going to produce, my understanding is, a Pro Series version of this that will not have that thumb safety for those people who don't want that. We still have that trigger safety piece, and of course we have the internal safety that secures the firing pin until the trigger is pulled. But then, chasing that other trend, we have on top of the gun a cutout space here for a small red dot sight. And this thing is set up to take a wide variety of the small pistol sights. Pretty good list of them that this thing will take. You've got a simple cover and a couple screws. It does come in the box with a small tool to take these two screws out, take the cover off. Then you can mount within considerable range the pistol sight of your choice on top of the slide. So, optics ready, front night sight, high capacity, nice little gun. Competes very, very favorably with the others that are out there in this category. And it does so at about $100 less retail price than the others too. By the way, it also has a reversible magazine release, which is a smart idea. You know, there are a lot of left-handed people out there. And finally, they've figured out that these things aren't that difficult to make reversible, so now they're doing it. So reversible magazine release. So if you're left-handed, you're good to go. All that means nothing if it doesn't shoot well, right? Well, we shot it a little bit. As you know, we don't shoot tons and tons of rounds through these things. But in the 50 or 60 or so rounds that we did shoot through it, we were impressed. Handles very well. Sight is perfectly regulated for the sort of distance we were shooting. Recoil is not bad at all. Most of the guns in this category, recoil is not terrible. They're big enough to shoot well, but small enough to carry and have good capacity and all that sort of thing. And this one's very much like that. But we thought it was very comfortable to shoot. Hitting a small target or a large target was no problem at all with this sight picture. Very nice little pistol. We're impressed. We think it's going to be a pretty good product for Ruger. It is going to pursue the other ones out there that are in this category quite well, we think. As I said, retail price is coming in about $100 below most of its competitors, which is a really good thing. And you're not really giving up much in terms of features here. I mean, you've got night sight, optics ready, capacity. You've got all those things that you're looking for these days in something like this. It's going to have Ruger's normal quality to it, which is very good. In the rounds we fired through it, by the way, ejection was positive, no issues, no problems at all across it. So we think it's going to be a good one. At the moment, they're a little scarce in the market. So we were able to get our hands on one to shoot. Please contact us for price and availability at a particular time, because those things obviously are flexible in the current market. Okay, well, the Ruger Max-9, that's what it's called, the Max-9. Very nice gun. We like it. We think you're going to like it. So contact us again for price and availability. And that's all we have for this time. Until next time, I'm Alan for Old English Outfitters. Thanks for watching.